All right, everyone, we are ready for Pokemon Yellow Glitchless Bean Run by MChan338. We're going to have so much fun and probably not catch them all, but catch a couple of them. Take it away.
And welcome back to No Holidays Allowed. I'm very excited to be a part of this event once again. This time running a very different game than what I normally run at these events, which is Pokemon Yellow. And I am fortunate enough to be joined by two very good commentators at this game. So would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Primal Pizza. I've also been running this game for a few years.
Hi everybody, I'm Randall Eats Cheese. I have not run this game in a few years.
But you did get a really good run on Let's Go earlier.
Oh yeah.
So
a lot of cancer games.
Yep. But now this time we're running the D-make of that game. For those who follow up with No Glitches Allowed events, might recognize that the last time that we've seen Gen 1 at this event was about a few years ago. I don't have the exact timeline, but it was at least a few years ago with Red, ran by Alan, who was another really good runner in the community. But this time we're running Yellow. I guess we can do all the explanation as soon as we start the run. So let's go ahead and get started. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so Pokemon Yellow Special Pikachu Edition is the definitive edition of Gen 1. Most people, when they watch Gen 1 speedruns, are mainly familiar with Red and Blue. So you might think that this game is similar to Red, and it is in terms of going through the game and the story, but in the speedrun, Yellow is actually very different. The very beginning of the game starts off very different right off the bat. So in a traditional Pokemon game, you have the option between 3 different Pokemon, and then your rival base your team off of what you choose. But in this game, you don't get an option as to which Pokemon you start off with, but your rival still changes his team, and what he changes his team to is not immediately obvious. But how it works is it is determined by how well the first 2 rival fights go. Now, the second rival fight is optional, so we never do that, so that counts as a loss. But if you win the first rival fight, then your rival will later evolve his Eevee, which is his starting Pokemon, into a Flareon. But if you lose, then he will evolve his Eevee into Vaporeon. So it's a bit of the game is treated as like a difficulty set thing, because it assumes that you're using Pikachu on your team. Now, hopefully, we win the fight. It's not too bad if we lose. There's just long-term problems that will come up later on in the run if we lose. But hopefully we win.
The main benefit of winning is that the rival has Flareon in his party later in the game, and instead of Vaporeon, which is easier for our future main to handle because, spoiler, not going to be using Pikachu throughout most of this because Pikachu is pretty bad.
Yeah, so for those of you who love Pikachu, go ahead and root for Pikachu because this is our one and only fight with it. So let's see if it gets an 0-1 record or a 1-0 record.
Yeah,
draws are not a thing.
Yeah, so the other reason why we want to win this rival fight is because later on in the run, your rival will change his team to where you'll actually get less experience on Vaporeon. So we need to be able to make up the experience later on if we're on Vaporeon. This is actually really good here.
This is an extremely good fight.
Yeah, so there we go, we won. So our rival's gonna have Flareon for the run. So this is like they said, this is the only fight that we are going to be using Pikachu. Pikachu is very bad. If you played this game, you might know that the first major roadblock that Pikachu suffers is the very first gym leader, which is Brock. Brock uses Rock-type Pokemon. Pikachu is an Electric type that cannot really do anything against Brock's Pokemon, so we do need to come up with something else. Now, fortunately, if you played this game before, then you might know that there are 3 Pokemon that actually do stand a decent chance against Brock, which is a Caterpie, which you can evolve to a Butterfree and learn Confusion. You can there's also Mankey, who can learn Low Kick at level 9, And then there's Nidoran Male, who can learn Double Kick at level 12. Now, of the 3 Pokemon, we are going to be using Nidoran Male, because Nidoran Male is just such a busted Pokemon throughout basically the whole game.
Yeah, a large benefit of Nidoran Male is that you can evolve it super early. It reaches level 16 and evolves into Nidorino, and it's about the time you get to Mount Moon to get a Moonstone to evolve it straight into Nidoking before the second gym, getting insane stats versus what you're supposed to have. And that combined with its extremely good move pool and very good typing, getting same type attack bonus on Earthquake via its ground type, makes it just the perfect Pokemon, along with it learning the most broken move in the game, Horn Drill.
Yeah. So here we're going to be talking to Oak from behind. It's very important that we do that, because our rival is very slow.
Yeah, so you're about to see in a little bit, right here, he walks less tiles by scrolling the camera up a little bit, so that way he has less tiles to walk on. So this is a bit of a minor optimization that, the times come down to.
Now, there's a couple instances like that throughout the run. NPCs in this game move at roughly half the speed you do, so
Yeah.
keeping them off screen can save a few frames.
And the other optimization I'm doing here is I'm actually holding B in order to go through the Pikachu, otherwise you bonk on the Pikachu.
Yeah, the game has a mechanic where you try to talk to the Pikachu and see how it's feeling. We're not really going to do that, and in fact, we're probably not going to be sending Pikachu out into battle all that much.
Yeah.
We treat
Every
Pikachu.
encounter here sucks.
We treat Pikachu pretty horribly throughout this run. Like,
We don't.
I don't know. I feel kind of bad running this because, especially if you lose the first rival fight, you just lose and then you deposit it in a PC and just leave it there.
Okay, so to find a good Nidoran Male, it's about a 5% chance, but what we can do in order to increase the 5% is do a trick called RNG manipulation. So would you guys like to talk about how RNG manipulation works?
Sure. So basically, by hard resetting the console or emulator, we reset the RNG to a known state, and by doing the same inputs at the same time, which is pretty easy due to the buffer windows being pretty big, then we can generate the same outcome. So Enchant, after this tutorial, is going to save the game and hard reset, setting the game RNG to a known state, and then buffer past the intro sequence, and then walk in a very specific pattern and press the A button on a certain tile in order to generate a Nidoran encounter and hopefully catch it. The buffer window for the catch is 3 or 4 frames. I think it's 4 frames. So it can be pretty hard to hit.
Yeah, 4 sounds about right.
Yeah, and these stats that we're manipulating are not perfect stats. Wild Pokemon cannot get perfect stats in this game, but they can be close to perfect. Okay, hopefully that's good. That felt good.
That looked good.
There we go. That is.
Nice, first try.
All right.
That's amazing. Yeah, that window can be super, super hard to hit.
Yeah.
There's not really a good audio or visual cue for it.
And we are going to nickname it because
very-
we are going to be using it a lot, and it saves a few frames. It saves 1 frame per letter. Per letter to nickname your Pokemon, and that is a good Nidoran.
Yeah,
Checking it twice,
Is
just
that
to double check.
That's the best.
Gonna find out who's naughty or nice.
But yeah, because even when the manipulation goes correctly, it can still generate a bad Nidoran because the in-game timer does impact the RNG manipulation.
Yeah.
Is that the 15 special?
No, it's the 14.
That's the 14, okay.
Yeah,
There's
2 HP.
There's 3 common Nidorans that the game can generate. There's we differentiate them because they have different special stats of basically 13 DV, 14 DV, and 15 DV, which is the maximum.
Mhm.
And the 14 one is still very good.
Yeah.
14 and 15 are mostly similar.
Okay, so
Yeah,
here-
14 is. Oops, sorry.
Yeah,
Go for it. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So here we are in Viridian Forest, the first dungeon of the game. We're going to be fighting a few trainers here. Normally, in any RPG speedrun, you don't really want to fight optionals because obviously it's slow. But here we're going to be fighting 3 trainers here in Viridian Forest. The very last trainer is the only required trainer of the forest. But the reason we are fighting these optional trainers is because we want to be at level 12 right before fighting Brock.
Yeah, at level 12 you learn Double Kick, which is a fighting type move, and Nidoran's really only hope of taking out Brock. There is a really relatively new strategy that you can do in Viridian Forest, where instead of fighting this first trainer right here, you RNG manipulate a 1% level 9 Pidgeotto encounter in the forest, and you actually hit that as Pikachu, manipulating a crit, and then switch to Nidoran. Hope you don't die. You sack Pikachu and then send in Nidoran, and then finish off the Pidgeotto, which gets you the experience instead of having to do this fight. And it's about 20 seconds faster, but extremely difficult to pull off.
Yeah.
And risky.
Yeah. And then this trainer fight right here is another. It's not new anymore, but it's still a pretty recent thing that was also found within the past couple of years, where we actually fight this trainer instead of another trainer coming up later on. And this is so we can set up another manipulation in order to manipulate 0 encounters in the forest. In red, the encounter rate in the forest is really low, but in yellow, it's very high. So we want to be able to manipulate as much of the forest as we can.
Yeah, so what Enchan's going to do after this fight is save and perform another RNG manipulation. As he said, he'll get no encounters, but he will also at the very end manipulate a Pidgey encounter and hopefully catch. You need something to use the HM fly throughout the game for fast travel, and manipulating a Pidgey in the forest is the fastest way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, another side benefit of this fight is, even though the Metapods are kind of annoying with all the Hardens and all that, we're taking no damage. So, we've taken, like, pretty much the max damage possible, and that's 4 from a crit. But it's okay.
Alright, so we're coming up to the manipulation. Here we go. So, serious time. Alright, there's the encounter. You can do a YOLO ball here, just like what I did with Nidoran, but it's not that important, so I'm just going to weaken it.
Very nice.
The other thing to mention about RNG manipulations, like Primal said earlier, is that I am pressing A on very specific tiles, which lags the game in order to manipulate the outcomes that we want. And then the other thing is that even that the RNG manipulations can fail because if you save at certain frames of the in-game timer, then the RNG manipulation can fail.
That's always really annoying, and you can track that. You can track what frames you save on via an external program, but it's it's decently hard to do if you're not used to it.
Yeah. And so that's actually all the Pokemon that we're going to be catching throughout the run. So later on, I'm going to be tossing all my Pokeballs. So that trainer
You can
that
see
I
the-
just fought there is infamous in red, because in red he actually has a Weedle. But even if he has a Weedle in this game, it's not even a problem at all, because we have a Nidoran. Nidoran's a poison type. He can't get poison.
Yeah, that's one of the kind of the underappreciated advantages of using Nidoran, because previously in Red, like this was a long, long time ago now, the Blastoise was used as the main Pokemon instead of Nidoran. And when running Blastoise in the modern day, when you're used to Nidoran, it's just, you get poisoned all the time. You gotta buy so many antidotes,
Yeah.
and with Nidoran, you just don't have to worry about that.
All right, say bye to Pikachu, everybody.
Yeah, bye Pikachu.
Hi, Pikachu.
Yeah, so Pikachu generates extra cutscenes, and so it's worth depositing Pikachu just so we can skip those cutscenes. And then while we're here, we're gonna heal up at the Pokemon Center to regain our HP as well as our Horn Attack power points, because we'll need to go through a very long stretch of using Horn Attacks.
Yeah, not. So here's Brock's gym. We have a little bit more experience to go, and that means we're going to be doing the first fight in Brock's gym. This one's technically also an optional. It's not exactly the most fun of the optionals ever.
Yeah, this
Is
guy
that a good
can
time?
crit sometimes, which actually we can talk about crits. So critical hits are based off of your base speed of your Pokemon. So in the case of Nidoran Male, he has his crit rate is about 1/8 chance, but later on when he becomes a Nidoran, Nidoking, then his crit rate increases to 1 in 6.
Yeah, Diglett being a very fast Pokemon crits quite a bit more often than us right now, as you saw in that first attack.
Yeah.
And later in the round, we're going to be facing some very fast Pokemon like Starmie and Dugtrio, which are also very fast
Oh, boy.
and have crit rates in like the 20%.
Even the Sandshrew? Oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm gonna heal this. Normally,
Yeah.
without those two, the one critical would have been fine, but the two oh jeez, but the two criticals is bad because I wanted to pull up a really cool strat called Red Bar in that fight. We'll explain Red Bar in a little bit, but basically I would have saved 6 seconds in this fight if I had Red Bar out of this fight.
And basically, if you're at low HP, the beep boop annoying sound effect overrides a lot of jingles in battle, saving quite a bit of time.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get rid of my Pokeballs because I don't need them anymore, and then we're gonna heal up for Brock, and then it's time for the Brock fight. So Brock is a very annoying fight. So his first Pokemon, which is Onix, only has Tackle, so it's not that bad. But his second Pokemon, which is Onix, can be very annoying because Onix has Tackle, Screech, Bide, and Bind. And the move that you don't want to see out of Brock is Bind, because Bind is a trap move, and you cannot act during trap moves at all.
Yeah, it looks like you can kill this Geodude with a crit, but you can't. It's really weird.
Yeah, you can't.
Gen 1 crit mechanics are so different from modern Pokemon games. In addition to the crit rate being based on base speed, the amount of damage a crit does, it doesn't double the damage, it doubles the level used in damage calculation. So around right now, you only deal about 1.5 times damage with a crit.
Yeah, and also recalcs all of
Nice.
your stats basically, so your stat boosts are pretty much turned off as well.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah, so
Looks good.
if you crit Onix where you having lowered its defense twice with Leer, it actually ends up dealing less damage than a normal attack. It's a very nice Brock fight.
But yeah,
Didn't get binded at all.
Yeah, the first bind missed, so which is huge.
So.
Because you can lose quite a lot of time in that fight, especially like if Onix uses Screech a couple of times, and then you can get into a situation where you heal looped, and then you just lose quite a lot of resources early on, which is very bad for the next major section of the run. Yeah, so now that we got our first gym badge, it's now time to move on to the next route, which is Route 3. In red, this is the point where you actually start using Nidoran Male, which means that your Nidoran Male is a much lower level. But here in yellow, because we started using Nidoran very early, our Nidoran is a much higher level, which means that much of these fights are a lot easier.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of these fights are
kick. really helps.
Yeah.
In the next fight.
And Brock said something about our attack being raised now that we have the badge. There's a lot of misinformation in this game and outright lies, but that's actually accurate. There's a mechanic called badge boost that actually raises a certain stat based on what badges you have. Like Brock's badge raises attack, Surge's badge raises defense, Koga's badge raises speed, Blaine's badge raises special. And these are all passive bonuses of a 9/8 boost that you get in battle. But Gen 1 has to have something janky related to that. So whenever your stats are recalced, like if you use an item to boost your stats or an enemy lowers your stats, like with String Shot, for example, then it reapplies all those badge boosts. So that String Shot we're getting right here, that is raising M-Chan's attack by another 9/8. Allowing him to deal even more damage.
Yeah, and these badge boosts are very critical because we want to be at specific levels at specific points in order to do the strats that we need. Otherwise, if you're not paying attention to the badge boosts, then you'll be making some very critical mistakes later in the run.
Yeah, notably in the late game, we're going to be using various X items to boost our speed, even if we're not necessarily using X speeds. And often, and whenever you level up, those badge boosts actually kind of wear off. So that's another thing to keep an eye out for.
Ah.
Oh no, not Rap.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Rap's another trapping move.
Yeah, my HP is pretty good, so that's not too concerning, but it's just unfortunate time loss. Fortunately, with 2 turns, you can get trapped between 2 and 5 turns if you get hit by Rap or Bind. And
Yellow has so many trapping moves, it's crazy,
Yeah.
even into the late game.
So this fight right here is technically slower than the other trainer, which is the last up on top, but we want to be at specifically level 21 at a very specific point, and this trainer allows us to get to that point.
Yeah, it's actually faster to fight the trainer on top. She does block your path afterwards, but it's faster to fight her, go back to Pewter City to reset the map, and walk all the way back than to fight this trainer. But as M-Chan said, we need to fight this trainer for experience reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be able to share a brief message?
Sure.
Awesome. We got an anonymous donation that brought our total raised for No Holidays Allowed 2024 to $499.99, which means we are less than $9 away from saving the animals in Super Metroid and 1 penny away from having raised $500 for Go Rescue Pet Adoption Center. You can type !donate in chat and, maybe tell us your favorite Pokemon, or maybe your favorite Pokemon game.
My favorite Pokemon is Mudkip, but my favorite Pokemon game is Diamond and Pearl.
My favorite Pokemon is Clefable, and my favorite game is Emerald.
I'm going to be a little bit out of left field for this one. My favorite Pokemon is Rowlet, and my favorite Pokemon game is Gold.
All right.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, it's very out of left field. Also, we evolved, by the way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're Nidorino for this is the only fight you're Nidorino for.
Yeah.
So enjoy this back spray while you can.
Honestly, if you squint hard enough, could it look like a purple version of Clefairy?
Oh god, I cannot unsee
Oh, yeah,
it.
you're kind of right. It's like a Ditto transformed into a Clefairy.
Alright, so coming up is Mount Moon, the next major dungeon. Very infamous in very old runs before RNG manipulation, but fortunately with RNG manipulation, what we're going to do is I'm going to be moving in a very specific way in order to manipulate 0 encounters throughout the entire place. So it's the longest one, it's the final manipulation. So, yeah, here we go. Let's see how this goes. Okay, there it is.
Very nice. That is harder than it looks, especially with nerves.
Yeah.
So, big ups to Enchan right there.
Personal goals met. I wanted all the manipulations to go well.
Yeah, and you nailed them all, so
Yeah.
hell yeah.
This is a big point of relief in the run, at least for me, because it means don't have to worry about messing up our achievement anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So here's Nidoking. It is a little too jacked for what the game kind of expects you to have, so it's going to really help us out.
Yeah, normally... Oh boy, hold up.
Oh no.
Okay. Disables a random move. It can disable Horn Attack, which can be pretty bad. Yeah, so normally in Pokemon games, they try to not incentivize you to use evolutionary stones on your Pokemon, because generally Pokemon that come from stone evolutions don't really learn moves. But Nidoking does learn one move, that one move is going to be very useful coming up in the next part of the run.
This coughing is about like a 60-something% range, I think. Damage in this game is slightly randomized. Like, an attack can deal kind of between 85 and 100% of its intended damage at random. And also thinking the Dome Fossil, classic. And there's some Pokemon that, like, you can kill them with a high roll
Punish.
if you're lucky.
Yeah, you can still get encounters here.
Lucky Clefairy.
Yeah, Clefairy is a very rare Pokemon in Mount Moon.
It's also one of the better Pokemon to speedrun Gen 1 with.
Yeah, Clefable's really solid. But here's Jesse and James. Except they're just called Rocket.
Yeah, so there is a missing Team Rocket trainer earlier before the Super Nerd, which is there in red but not in yellow. So in every part where Team Rocket shows up, there are some parts where you'll be fighting Jesse and James, and for the most part, Jesse and James are just not very exciting.
Yeah, not really. Not really one of their fights are very, very exciting, unfortunately. They don't use the greatest Pokemon in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, they might not even be Jesse and James. They just say Rocket.
Yeah,
they hadn't invented names yet in 1999.
Yeah, none of the trainers have names in these early games.
Well, Brock does, technically.
Oh, true. The gym leaders have names.
Yeah,
Your rival has a name because you name him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're out of Mount Moon now. And now we're going to head into Cerulean City, and we're going to take this Pokemon Center in Cerulean City because we went through a very long stretch of using a bunch of Pokemon power for Horn Attack, and we need to be able to use more Horn Attacks in this next part. But also having more HP for this next part is also very good. The next fight coming up that we're going to be fighting is the second rival fight, or at least the second required rival fight. So in most Pokemon games, the second rival fight tends to be very hard because he tends to catch up to you in level. In this game, you're not very likely to die, but what can happen is you can lose quite a lot of time because this rival fight has two Pokemon that know Sand Attack, and when you get hit by Sand Attack, your accuracy gets lowered by 1/3, which is very big time loss if that happens.
Yeah, this rival fight leads with a Spearow too, which knows Growl.
Oh yeah, if he uses Growl, then the rest of his Pokemon is harder to hit.
So Growl into Sand Attack, into just missing forever, into more Sand Attacks, can just like pile on you, and you can lose minutes to that.
Yeah.
And there's not really anything you can do.
Yeah, so
Just hit and crit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just hit and crit. Or miss Sand Attack, which is actually another thing to talk about, is that Pokemon. Oh, jeez.
Oh no.
Oh,
Here
boy.
we go. When trainers use stat changing moves like Growl, Leer, they have a 25% chance to miss in Gens 1 and 2.
Yep, here's Sand Attacker number 1.
So now, unfortunately, this is a 4-turn Sandshrew. Okay, I don't want to say anything right now, but this is pretty good so far. Oh boy!
Oh, boy.
All right,
Just hit. Just hit.
Oh
Just hit.
man!
Oh boy.
All right.
Oh no,
all right, you know what?
that's 50%.
All right, I'm gonna do this.
Oh, you're gonna do the swap.
Yeah.
I respect that.
All right, good job, Pidgey. You did your job. Bye, Pidgey.
Okay, now the rest of this fight is free.
Yeah. So this is to get my attack back and my accuracy back.
Yeah, one Sand Attack is actually not bad if you just hit the rest of your moves, because the accuracy lowering gives you an attack badge boost, and which allows you to guarantee kill the Eevee, because otherwise it's like a coin flip to kill with one double kick.
Yeah, so this Eevee right here is a
Oh, yeah,
range, which I didn't
this
get
is
the
kinda
range,
weird.
and this Eevee also knows Sand Attack, so hopefully we don't see it. Okay, Growl, that's good. All right,
Nice.
there it is.
And you're going to see M-Chan finishing with double kick there, and that might look a little bit strange because double kick's super effective and has an extra text box. You might think it'd be faster to finish with Horn Attack, because Horn Attack's neutral, but it's actually not, because damaging moves in this game have two different animations. If the move doesn't have like a secondary effect, like Horn Attack, it just deals damage. It's going to have a very long like flash animation where the enemy like flickers for a couple seconds. And if the move does have an added effect, like double kick hitting 2 times, then it has a much quicker animation that just shakes the screen a little bit, and it's about a second faster.
Yeah.
And even with the super effective text, it's faster to finish with double kick, or not very effective text, like right here.
Yeah, so the other thing that we're talking about is damage ranges. So not every move does the same amount of damage. There is one move in particular, known as Sonic Boom, that always does 20 damage, but most other moves usually have certain damage ranges, and so every once in a while you'll be hearing us say like, oh, this is a range, and that's because not every like when we do the same things for every single attempt, move, like, it's not going to go down one shot. Like that Pidgey right there that I just defeated, that doesn't always go down in one shot, and that's what we call a range.
Wow, very nice 2-turn fight.
Yeah.
That's great.
This fight can go pretty badly. It's not very likely to, but that Pidgey does know Sand Attack, so if you miss the range and it rolls Sand Attack, and you just keep missing, it can get pretty
The
bad.
fight can get out of control real quick.
Yeah. So after this fight, we're about to level up into level 21, and I picked up 2 rare candies. The one in Mount Moon, and then the other in the back of that guy's house in Sterling City, and we're going to be using those right after this fight, and that's going to bring us up to level 23, which then we can learn the only move that Nidoking learns, which is Thrash. So Thrash is a really powerful move early on, and it hits between 3 and 4 times. The 4th time is a 50% chance of whether it hits or not. And so in these early game fights, we try to make sure that if we can win a fight within 3 turns or less, then it's worth using Thrash. There is one fight, sometimes 2 or 3, where we have to rely on a 4-turn fight.
Yeah, Thrash is insanely powerful at this point in the game. It's like 90 base power. For reference, Horn Attack is, I think, 65?
Yeah.
And, yeah. And Thrash also lasts for 3 or 4 turns, but only uses 1 PP. So it's very PP efficient, and you don't have to enter the fight menu if you use it continuously. So it just saves so much time, and is incredibly powerful, especially coming off our insane attack stat for this point in the game. So this next section is really, really chill. There's not much to worry about at all.
Yep. Yeah, and this section of the run is actually much easier here in yellow compared to in red, because in red there's a trick that we use called instant text. It doesn't work in yellow, which is why you see me go through this with the fast scrolling text. Basically, instant text makes all the text appear at once, so you save quite a handful of time in this part of the run if you can keep it throughout the whole part. And that also means if you're guaranteed to die, you still take your chances, because you're trying to maximize the time save with instant text in a PB attempt. So this is like 8 minutes of praying that you don't die in red.
Yeah. With instant text, you're not allowed to menu to heal. So you're in red bar. Okay, you either go really fast or you go back to the starting. Go back to the title screen or something like that. For example.
Yeah, compared to red, this section's super chill. You just pretty much thrash everything. There is an Onyx coming up, the next fight actually, that it is a 2-shot. Whoa! But that's really the scariest thing in this section.
Yeah.
Route 24, Route 25.
Yeah. All right, so
we're also going to be picking it.
Yeah, we're about to get our Charmander. You can get all 3 starter Pokemon in this game. But we're only going to be picking up Charmander, because it's very convenient to pick up Charmander here, as opposed to trying to find a Pokemon that can learn Cut and Dig. So we just get Charmander there for free. Bulbasaur is obtained through a Pokedex criteria, so it's obviously very slow. And then Squirtle comes with 3 moves, but there's a later Pokemon that coming up later on where it'll have 2 moves, and it's better to get that Pokemon instead.
Bulbasaur isn't obtained via Pokedex criteria, but the way you get it's really interesting. It's basically the friendship mechanic from Gen 2 is in this game, but only for Pikachu. And if you have high friendship on your Pikachu, you can get a Bulbasaur. The thing is, there's certain things that increase friendship, like walking around with your Pikachu in your party, or like using healing items on it. The thing is, the game doesn't check whether your HP whether you actually consume the healing item to increase the friendship. So you can just spam potions on your full health Pikachu, not use up the potion, and get the Bulbasaur pretty much instantly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's really funny.
Yeah. Something else that's worth pointing out is that this is the first point of the run where you want to pay attention to whether or not you're on a Flareon or Vaporeon route. So earlier, I fought the bottom hiker, which only had 1 Pokemon, the Onix. The top hiker has a Geodude and a Machop, and you want to fight that on Vaporeon, because later on, you're going to be short on EXP, and you need to be able to make up the EXP. But with this variation of the route, there's a slight alteration I'm doing with this route where that doesn't really matter, but in PB attempts, you do want to pay attention to whether or not you're on a Flareon or Vaporeon in this part.
Yeah, you just get very slightly different experience this section. It's like, I think the rival's Vulpix, if he has Vaporeon, gives less experience
Yes.
than if the Shelter if he has Flareon.
Yes.
And then messes up
that's
some
it.
stuff.
Okay, so last.
It's like the rival.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, the rival always has a fire type, a water type, and an electric type, and it's always going to be like one evolution, and the other two are either going to be like Vulpix, Magnemite, or Shelter,
Yeah.
and just rearranges his team based on that.
Okay, so this is the last trainer that we're fighting in this trainer gauntlet, and then we're gonna talk to Bill and get the SS ticket. And then we'll be fighting Misty in the Cerulean Gym. You can actually take on Misty right away. Nothing's stopping us from doing it, other than the fact that we would be very low leveled if we did it right away. So it is worth coming up here for the extra EXP to fight Misty. So Misty is a very hard fight to survive. Very easy to execute though, because all you do is just select Thrash and hope that you win. Misty has a Starmie and a Starmie. The Starmie is not a problem, but the Starmie has Water Gun and Bubble Beam. Bubble Beam can lower your speed, and also because Starmie is really fast, it likes to crit. So if you get Bubble Beam crit and Speedfall at the same time, you instantly lose.
Yeah, we
Technically,
barely.
you can live that. Technically.
You would have to get ungodly lucky to live that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Starmie, we're going to just barely outspeed Starmie by 1 speed point during this fight.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you get a speed fall, the Starmie basically gets 2 turns in a row. Bubble Beam's going to be like 25% to speed fall.
Yeah, and Misty's also the first trainer that introduces Smart AI, where basically that means that if it will always use super effective moves, which means that Starmie's never going to use Tackle or Harden, which are the other 2 moves that Starmie has. But Misty can also use an X Defend because it's an item, and if it uses an X Defend, then that means we have to hope that we get a 4th turn Thrash.
Or just crit.
X Defense also pretty bad.
Yeah.
This Goldeen also knows Supersonic and is a 2-turn fight. So, okay, Peck's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now my
Supersonic
HP is
confuses.
still fine, but I'm gonna heal anyway, just to be extra super safe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This fight
definitely.
can go wrong in a hurry.
Alright.
There's really nothing you can do to play around it too.
Yeah.
It's a common theme with a lot of the hard fights in this. It's just don't get crit, and there's not too much you can do around it, unfortunately.
Yeah. And so you saw me save there. Normally in PB attempt you don't save, but in a marathon some fights can just straight up kill you without anything you can do about it. So yeah, we'll be saving quite a handful of times in this run.
Even though we would end up in Cerulean if Nidoking died here, you lose half your money upon dying.
Exactly.
And that's just a huge loss, because money's pretty tight in this game to buy all the items you need.
Okay, here we go. So that's pretty good. Water gun, that's it. We win.
Very good.
All right, we're good.
Oh, we got the crit.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
that's still
We're fine.
fine.
Nice. Yeah, very good fight right there.
Yeah, that
You love to see that.
yeah, that is what you want to see there. So yeah, and our HP is still pretty good to where the next part is we're not very likely to die in the next part of the run.
I'm gonna be pretty much cruising until Surge, and talk about that when we get there. Surge is another interesting fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we also gained another pretty cool move. Brock gives us Bide, which we're not going to be using, but Bubble Beam has its uses, actually.
Yeah, Nidoking can learn Bubble Beam. Nidoking can learn these crazy TMs, but it's not going to learn the next TM that we're about to get here from this Rocket Trainer, which is Dig. Otherwise, it'd be even more powerful, but unfortunately, that's not the case. So we'll just have to work with what we got here.
Nidoking has this insane move pool in Gen 1 where it can learn like Ice Beam, Blizzard, Thunderbolt, Fire Blast, all of these moves of different types, and it's a ground type, and yet it can't learn Dig.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah.
The game would be so much better if it could, And it honestly baffles me. I wish I could go back in time and tell whoever programmed this game, whoever programmed Nidoking's Learn Set, to just make it learn Dig.
He's too
'cause it makes
powerful. You
no
need to
sense why it
nerf him
can't.
somehow.
True. Dig in Gen 1 is 100 base power, which is the same as Earthquake.
Yeah.
Really crazy to get a move like that right now.
Yeah. So I do want to give a special shout out to our good friend SlayerLol99. We recently had a red tournament, and in one of the matches that we had, that fight is a range in red because you fight him at a little bit lower level. And so if you missed the so Slayer had a situation where he missed the drowsy range, got hypnosis, and then disabled Thrash while he was asleep, and then slowly met his demise in that fight. It's a very crazy outcome, but you have nothing to worry about that in yellow.
Oh, that's pretty funny. Oh, God.
That was a treat to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, felt bad for him,
Yeah.
but
as a viewer,
It
it's
was-
funny, but obviously as a player, it's bad.
Yeah.
So what I did earlier was I picked up the Hidden Floor Store in the Underground, and I cleared it so fast that you didn't hear the jingle. And that's because if your trainer name is about 4 or less letters, I think, then the text is fast enough that you can actually clear it before the jingle actually plays.
yeah, we saw that in Viridian Forest as well. After the Pidgeymanip, M-Chan picked up Potion really, really quickly, and it was just it's because the audio is transitioning from the battle to the overworld themes that it just skips the jingle.
Yep.
It's really nice. Get a free potion.
Just can't load, so you get some really, really good healing items.
Yeah. So after these these couple of trainers, we're about to do a little bit of shopping here. We're gonna sell the nuggets that I picked up, as well as buy the TM from Brock in order to gain a little bit of extra money, as well as buy a few repels. And then we're about to go to the SSN and take on the Rival fight, which is, I mean, really easy in this game. So we do have a bit of time for a bit of announcements, if you have any.
Sure, we always have announcements. I just want to remind everyone, we are here, No Holidays Allowed 2024, raising money for Go Rescue, a dog shelter in Hampton, Virginia. Go Rescue works to provide a haven for homeless dogs, giving them the time, care, and love they need to find not just any home, but the right home. So every donation going towards the homeless puppers, helping them find their forever homes. And I thought I might throw in my own thing. If we can reach that Super Metroid Save the Animals before this run is done, I'll give y'all my best Pikachu call. Now, it's not necessarily the best, but like, I'll do my best. So we're less than $9 away from that if you want to type !donate in chat and donate towards a good cause. And possibly Pikachu, since we don't get to see him anymore in this run.
The most cursed Pikachu cry live here at No Holidays Allowed.
Oh boy.
I would say however good you are at Pikachu cry, it's probably better than the Pikachu cries in this game, because, oh my god, they are cursed. The extremely bit-crushed screaming, like, obviously M-Chan won the first rival fight, but if you lose, Pikachu does like a blood-curdling scream, and it's horrific.
It's devastating.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Obviously, I have a very different opinion than the others.
But yeah, so this fight's really easy in this game. In red, he has a Pidgeotto and has Sand Attack, so you can get absolutely wrecked in this fight in red.
Yeah, and we're strong enough that we can actually one-shot all this stuff, so
Yeah, we're not
No
using
more
Breath
worries
because we
about,
can't one-shot all of his Pokemon with Thrash.
anything like that.
It's a very common mistake to like accidentally select Thrash at the start of this fight, and it's really scary if you do so, because you don't one-hit the Sandshrew, and you can get Sand Attacked. And a fun quirk about Thrash is that if your accuracy goes down, it it gets reapplied every single turn. So your accuracy just keeps going down if you keep thrashing.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but
it's so crazy.
This game, man.
This game's put together with a prayer and some duct tape, and we're going to be taking advantage of that duct tape a lot this run.
We're going to be praying a lot.
Oh yeah.
So this is all that we need, which is the HMO1 cut. And then now I'm actually gonna go over here. You don't normally do this in a PB attempt, but I'm doing this because it makes the next part of the run much easier. And that is, I'm gonna be fighting this optional trainer because he's actually blocking an item up ahead, which is the rare candy. And that's gonna give us a couple extra levels to make Lieutenant Surge much easier because. Surge only has one Pokemon, which is Raichu. He outspeeds us, and so by being at level 29 at this point, we can actually outspeed the Raichu, which eliminates a lot of different possibilities, a lot of different outcomes that the Raichu can do to us. So we'll get the rare candy, and then we'll explain shortly how the fight goes. But after we leave the SSN, we're going to go to the fan club and get the bike voucher. It is an optional item, but getting the bike voucher saves a lot of minutes in movement because we're about to get the bicycle after we take on the gym. And if anybody watches my streams and watches me do PB attempts of this game or Red version, I like to read the fan club dialogue, like the chairman's dialogue, because he's very passionate about his Rapidash. Yeah.
Emphasis on very passionate.
He's very passionate.
I mean, you hear people talking about like their cars like that in real life, and I don't see any cars in this game. So they're pretty much he's pretty much just a guy who's passionate about his mode of transportation.
That is a fair point.
There is a truck though.
All right, here we go. My favorite Rapidash. It cute, lovely, smart, plus amazing. You think so? Oh yes, it's stunning. Kindly love it. Hug it when sleeping, warm and cuddly, spectacular, ravishing. Oops, look at the time. It is so good.
Can I talk about my car like that?
Yes, my car is ravishing, everybody.
So soft and cuddly. Hug it when sleeping.
So, all right, there's actually a gym puzzle before we fight Surge. Who wants to talk about the gym puzzle?
Gen 1 cans. I don't even fully understand it, so I'll leave it to you, Bravo.
Oh boy. So the puzzle is there's a bunch of trash cans scattered throughout the gym. Because I don't know. And two of them have switches in them that you have to hit. And there's certain cans that the first switch can be in, and then the second can is supposed to be directly adjacent to the first can. Because this game is interesting and cool, it's not always, and sometimes it can just be the second can can just be the top left can. Darn it. So if you get unlucky, you can just lose minutes in here.
Yeah,
in
sometimes
in red
I
there
don't even have a second switch.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Okay, there we go.
See?
Got trolled a little bit, but that's okay.
In red, you do manipulate these cans to always be the same two cans, but that doesn't work in yellow. The best known RNG manip for cans only has like a 30% success rate, and they changed the puzzle a little bit compared to red, so it's far less likely to lose a ton of time, but you can still get unlucky.
Yeah, and now who wants to talk about Surge?
Surge is a very scary fight normally, as he has Mega Kick, as you can see. Oh boy. Okay. Please don't crit. Mega Kick crit can just decimate you. And because we use the rare candy, Nidoking outspeeds Raichu, so it only gets one turn. Normally, if you don't get the rare candy, it gives it 2 turns, and his fight is super, super scary. It knows Mega Kick, Mega Punch, which is less powerful but still packs a punch, Thunderbolt, and Growl, and it uses them at random.
Yeah, it can also use an X speed, which then the Raichu can outspeed me with the EXP that I have. But yeah.
Time to
with
go
the
to
X-
Diglett's Cave to go to Pewter City. I take that back. We're heading back to Cerulean.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. Sorry, too far out.
Yeah, no, because M-Chan used the Pokemon Center in Cerulean City, it set his warp point there. So you can just go to the cave, dig out, and go all the way back to Cerulean City, cutting down on whole tracking. And now we get the bike for faster movement. And Nidoking gets to learn Thunderbolt, which is a very good coverage option. It's not used a ton as like a staple move. It's pretty much just anti-Gyarados and Slowpoke tech.
Pretty much, yeah. Also, I hope y'all enjoy the bike music, because we're going to be hearing a lot of it for the next hour.
Yeah, it's so annoying in this game. Alright, so
Yeah.
this is, if everything goes well up until this point, then this should be the only fight where we have to rely on a 4-turn Thrash. So here we go.
50% to be a 3-turn or a 4-turn Thrash.
Yep.
If we get the 3-turn, we're confused.
If we have
for
to select the
last
move, then that means we got only a 3-turn.
You can take a hit self in Confusion, which would actually be pretty nice to put you in red bar,
Yeah.
with the rest of this section being free.
Yeah, the ranges are much nicer with the Gentleman Candy. What we got?
Okay. Didn't get
Okay.
it. Oh boy.
Okay, gets a hit self. That's fine.
Oh man.
That's
Okay, you
not
can
much.
switch out. Or can you
not
split
here.
XP in yellow? I
I
forget.
don't remember.
I don't
I don't
know about
know.
about this EXP. Okay, there we go.
I know you can in red. I think you can because you use the rare candy. But it's fine.
Yeah.
You're through.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, so I got trolled a little bit there. So you do have a 25% chance for that fight to go wrong. So it doesn't happen that often. This is unfortunate, but that's okay. The next every other fight was going to go pretty well with these extra EXP.
Yeah, we're going to be thrashing away for a lot of these fights. For example, this bug catcher. He has a Venonat in the back that can be kind of annoying if you miss the range, but what range?
Yeah, the rare candy just makes this Venonat guaranteed to kill, which is very good as it has Confusion, which is super effective and can confuse you, and it has Disable. And if it disables Thrash while you are thrashing, you are just unable to select an action, and you just have to sit and watch as you die.
Yeah, it's it is a wild ride if you get Thrash Disable. Alright, so now we're about to head into Rock Tunnel, and it's dark, and normally you need Flash, but that requires 10 Pokemon, which obviously we have like a total of 7 Pokemon. So obviously we don't have enough to get Flash. It's too far out of the way. But fortunately, we can still see the walls, so it's not like blind movement in order to go through this place.
And by now, Nidoking's coverage options through Bubble Beam and Thunderbolt have just expanded, and you're able to hit a lot of things super effectively, like the Slowpoke and Cubone that you wouldn't really be able to kill otherwise.
Yeah, and this is also the
gym
first
leader
point of
TMs
the run where your special stat starts to matter, because if I didn't manipulate a good Nidoran with good special, then these Pokemon would not go down one shot.
Yeah, this Slowpoke in particular, it can be a really bad range. There's a category of this game called any percent glitchless classic that bans RNG manips. So you're just hunting for a random Nidoran with random stats, and that's a really scary Slowpoke because if you miss the range, if you have bad special, it's guaranteed to use Confusion, and that can end very badly.
Yeah.
This fight is also a normally scary fight that just becomes free due to the rare candy.
Yeah, you have about a coin flip to get the range here, but it's guaranteed with these extra levels.
That Oddish knows Sleep Powder and it knows Stun Spore. And if you get put to sleep, you're just locked into Thrash, and there's no you can't use even an item, anything. You can't use the full restore.
Yeah.
Either of those mid Thrash is pretty catastrophic. Also,
Yeah.
a little Gen 1 thing where you can actually repel while a repel is still going, so just doing that to avoid the repel wear off text.
Yeah, it's very convenient for menu routing purposes. Because like in other gens, it's just kind of a slog to have to like wait till the repel goes out, go back in the bag, use a repel, go out of the bag again. It hurts your soul to just have an entire menu just to do one thing.
Yeah, later gens eventually made it so that they'll tell you, oh, your repel is wore off. Would you like to use another one? We're in the days long before any of that happened, so it actually works out for us.
You know, Gen 1 menus in general are just... They work very differently from a lot of menus in future gens. The main mechanic being that you can swap different items with each other. So you're going to see in a lot of, especially the later menus in the game, swapping items up that we're going to use a lot. You saw that with the bicycle earlier. And then using consumable items at the bottom of the bag to reset the menu cursor to the top of the bag to use another item. They're all very efficiently routed. Also, you can only hold up to 20 items in the bag, counting key items in this game, which makes inventory management a huge factor when routing any category for this game.
Yeah, because at some point, gym leaders are going to stop giving us their TMs, and so that's going to save quite a lot of time because it saves not having to get the items as well as the gym leaders explaining what the items do, and this adds up a handful of times later on.
Shout out to the dogs coming up here.
Yeah, we got Brock's TM Bide, we got Misty's TM, we got Surge's TM. We're not going to get a single other gym leader TM throughout the whole rest of the run.
Yeah.
Just because if you have 20 items, they don't give you it.
Alright, so we're coming up to the underground, which will lead us to Celadon City, and there's a bit of a trick that I learned pretty recently as of this year, in order to get the hidden elixir pretty efficiently, so hopefully I can get it. There it is.
Nice. Do you use a visual or audio cue?
Audio cue.
Nice, me too. I think the audio cue is super nice in yellow. There's a lot of extra lag in this game compared to red, because they kind of just hacked the colors in. And they're not very optimized, so this game runs quite a bit slower.
Yeah. So who wants to talk about
extra
all the items I'm about to shop here?
We're going to be getting some healing items here. Actually, no, we're buying the best move in the game first. Now we're going to go get some healing items. TM07 is a very good move. We're going to be teaching it quite soon, so we'll kind of talk about it once we start using it and abusing it a little bit. It works really well in tandem with X accuracies, which we're going to be buying some XX and other X items in a bit. We're also going to buy another really powerful item. It's going to save us about 10 minutes, I want to say. The Pokédoll. I know, Pokédolls in Gen 1. What could that possibly mean?
It sounds crazy, I don't know. You're gonna buy some refreshments because, you know, it's You know, we need to cool down every once in a while. No, just kidding. We need to
Yeah.
deliver them.
This kid also is really
It's a long
thirsty.
run.
Yeah,
Got to stay hydrated.
exactly.
Yeah, no, this girl has access to some very good TMs. Well, actually, a very good move and a move that is not good, but
she
still
didn't even
necessary
describe
for the run.
what it does. I don't know.
A move that exists
It's the
and
move
a
of all
move
time.
that we really like. Let's get some X items now that we've gotten the move that exists.
Let's buy an extra one. I'm gonna get an extra. Normally you get 4 there, but I'm gonna buy an extra one because I can get absolutely trolled towards the very end of the run. So I'm gonna have that for insurance.
Yeah, X items are insanely good in virtually any Pokemon speedrun. But Gen 1, they're like uniquely interesting because of the badge boosts in the game. So you can raise all of your other stats with X items. Like, say you use an X special to raise your speed and special at the same time. Works very interestingly.
Yeah, so we're about to get another good item, which is the HMO2 for Fly. Again, just like the bicycle, completely optional, but it saves many minutes in transportation in the overworld.
So now it's time for the infamous fly menu.
Oops, a little bit too far.
And we're going to teach Rock Slide. This next section coming up has a lot of Ghastlies, 4 Ghastlies that you have to fight. And because Nidoking can't learn Dig, we've got no real way of taking out the Ghastlies quickly, because none of our other moves will kill. So Rock Slide, despite being 90% accurate, is necessary for the run. Literally only for these Ghastlies.
Unironically, our best move here for this section.
Yeah,
Which is really unfortunate
yeah.
for us.
We tried coming up with ways to skip Rock Slide, but they never work out. So this is what we have to do. All right, so yeah, so Randall and Primal did allude to a certain 2 very specific items that we did pick up during our shopping trip, and so they come into play very quickly in this fight. So we'll see how this goes. So first off, starting with the Fearow. Okay, at this HP, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna start by using a Thunderbolt first with this HP, and then set up on the Magnemite next. So we're gonna use an X accuracy in order to increase our accuracy, and then oh my gosh, whoa! How did I do it? I thought it's 30% accuracy.
Yeah, X accuracy in Gen 1 doesn't raise your accuracy stat. All it does is makes every single move of yours bypass accuracy checks to always hit, which is extremely broken in tandem with Horn Drill, which always KOs the opponent if you're faster, but has 30% accuracy. So as long as you're faster and set up an X accuracy, you can just spam Horn Drill to KO everything.
Yeah, Nidoking is really fast. It's not like the fastest thing of all time, but we do have X items to kind of paper over that every now and then.
Yeah, the criteria is current speed. If you're currently faster than your opponent, then or speed tie, then Horn Drill will work.
You don't even have to go first. Like, even if your opponent like quick attacks or you lose a speed tie, it just goes based off of your raw speed stat.
Exactly. Alright, so yeah, so Rock Slide. There are 3 trainers we fight, which equate to a total of 4 Pokemon that we have to use for Ghastly, because Ghastlies have high special, which means high special attack and defense, because special is not a separate... it's special is 1 stat in these early... Oh boy, in these early generations.
Don't paralyze.
Okay, no paralyze, that's good. So Rock Slide is only 90% accurate, so which means we have a chance to miss at least 1 time.
These dude, these Ghastlies are also pretty bad to miss on, as you can see.
I'm gonna heal this, because if I miss again, then I'm dead.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
no,
Alright,
that's not what you want to see.
oh boy.
You want to swap?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't. Pidgey's not alive. Oh no.
Let's try it. Let's try it.
Sure.
Just get through.
Just hit through. This is the last one we gotta
dig
worry
the
about.
gas
So.
for the memes.
Bless
Hell
us,
yeah.
cat.
Yeah. Let's do this.
Oh, okay. Well, Charmander, go out in style here. Nope.
Come on. All right. There we go. There it is.
There we go. All right.
Yeah.
Chat for Charmander.
Yeah, so you can see how Ghastlies can be real trolls.
Oh man.
Dude, 3 rock slide
Oh
misses?
my
no,
gosh.
There's
All right.
no,
Come on.
everything's going wrong. No.
here
Please
goes
hit
nothing.
through.
Oh.
No.
All right. I have to do this.
Are you gonna follow the story?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have to
this
do
is a
this.
forest door.
Now,
This is just so messed up now.
this is actually bad because I actually want to have that one full restore for my items, but now I have to come up with something else now for my menus.
Yeah, your menu is going to be kind of wacky now.
Yeah.
So, oh boy.
Oh my gosh.
This Nido King sucks. Oh my
Please.
gosh.
Okay, there. No, come on, dude. No, I got
This
paralyzed.
is
Okay, game
90%
paralyzed here.
accurate, I
Not that
swear.
bad. Oh my
Five.
gosh. What is happening?
Jesse secretly knows sand attack, everybody.
Oh my God.
What is going on?
You have 4 PP.
I've
What is going
never
on,
had this.
man?
I've never had this go that
What is
badly before.
this?
Please, thank you. Okay,
Thank
okay,
you.
okay.
All right, we did
Okay.
it.
All right. So anyway, what I was trying to say,
6 times the charm.
what I was trying to say is that, yeah. So special attack and special defense are one stat in these earlier generations, all the way up until Pokemon Emerald. And so that means that if I use Thunderbolt or Bubble Beam on these Ghastlies, they don't do very much damage. So we have to use Rock Slide just for these Ghastlies.
So our choices here are to fight an optional or to take the heal pad. After what just happened, we could really use a heal pad right now.
It's also just faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That trainer also has a Haunter.
Yeah, it's very bad. Alright, so given how that first trainer fight went, surely these next 2 fights are going to go pretty well.
You've already missed like 5 rock slides at this point.
Yeah, 90% by the way.
6, never mind. 6 rock slides.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
Alright, one
We're
more
3 for
chance. One more
9.
chance.
We're 3 for 9.
This has never happened before.
Has anyone ever run out of rock slides?
Nope.
Well, without dying, I guess.
It's ironic that this Nidoking is named I, since it appears to have none.
True.
Okay, there. That's how it's supposed to
Okay.
go. Alright, cool.
Okay. Now we can delete this move and forget all that ever happened.
Yeah, this move doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
We are going to be safe soon.
Yeah.
Also, the game forces
So,
us to pick up a rare
You might
game.
notice, I didn't go to the game corner in Celadon City while we were there earlier, so how the heck am I going to get past this part? I don't know.
Oh yeah, you forgot to do that.
Yeah,
Who's
Shoot.
that Pokemon?
Might want to go back.
yeah. Wait, okay, so let me, wait, hold up. I need a, let's,
What is this menu gonna look like?
yeah.
This is...
Okay,
yeah.
so, this is where the chat goes, what is this guy doing? I thought this was glitchless. But, the Pokédoll, allows us to skip needing to go to the game corner at all and do the entire Team Rocket section. Like Randall alluded to earlier, we don't need to go there at all. So that saves. This is the only sequence break of the run that we do.
You're supposed to go to the Rocket Hideout, get the Sylph Scope, unveil the ghost's true identity as Marowak, and then you defeat the Marowak and let its soul move on to the afterlife. But there's a little Easter egg in this game where you can just give the ghost a doll and its soul is calmed.
A Pokédoll lets you run from wild encounters, and they didn't exactly think it through when realizing you could technically Pokédoll the ghost.
It's a wild encounter,
Yeah,
and you're
it's wild.
running from it.
Yeah, I didn't see any glitches.
They just, it's just kind of poorly thought out coding. And this game is again, held together by duct tape. And here's one of said occurrences of duct tape.
Fun fact, development logs were leaked for this game in one of like the Giga leaks a few years ago. And it is confirmed that they knew about that interaction when programming this game and consciously chose to keep it in.
Maintaining consistency with Pokemon Red and Blue. So we don't quite know why that happened, but they knew this was a thing, and they left it in. So we get to take advantage of it.
Okay. So actually, for some reason, my Super Repel is not where it's supposed to be, so I need to come up with something to get Super Repel back up to where I want it to be. Anyway, so we're going to heal up here at the Ceylon Center, even though I did take the heal in the Pokemon Tower earlier, but this is to actually set up our warp point for later, because as they said earlier, when you use the Pokemon Center, it actually sets up a warp point for when you use an escape rope or dig.
Celadon's a very advantageous warp point to have, as it has a Pokemon gym in it, Erica's gym. It's right next to Saffron City, which has Silphco, which we're going to go to right now, and Saffron City also has a Pokemon gym, and it also has a path to Fuchsia City via Cycling Road, so it's just a very, very convenient hub for the rest of the game.
Yeah, so this is Silphco. Very long dungeon normally, but we know the fastest way through this path, so we're going to go through it. Well, I guess not really, because we're about to go...
We're going to take a quick detour,
We're going to take a bit of a quick detour over here, because there are 3 really good items guarded by this optional trainer, and it's worth coming up over here just for that.
Yeah, if we clear out Team Rocket first, this trainer won't exist, and like Team Rocket will have left the Silphco building, but we're going to be able to use some of these moves really quickly, so it's going to really speed up our fights. Just go ahead and pick it up right now and kind of deal with it. Also, the Machoke's pretty quick to Horn Drill, so it's not a big deal.
And you'll also notice that these trainers are gonna be around the same level as us, and that's because this is supposed to be like a much later point in the game that you're supposed to do this at. You're supposed to have this is around the point where you're about to take on the 6th gym. Are the levels of these trainers.
So the items M-Chan picked up right there. He picked up a Carbos, which is a vitamin that increases the speed stat. He picked up a rare candy, always very helpful, and TM26, teaching Earthquake. Finally, Nidoking can get a stab move. Stab stands for same type attack bonus. Basically, you get if the type of the move you're using matches one of your types, it gets 50% bonus damage. And Earthquake being 100 power is very powerful, effectively 150 with same type attack bonus. So very good on Nidoking.
Okay, hopefully that should be good enough for me on those item orders.
Yeah, that'll be, those are the important items, so it's pretty awkward, and usually you don't want to be using up that forest ore, but
yeah.
You didn't exactly. Rockslide didn't exactly give you a choice.
So immediately Earthquake gets its benefit here, because otherwise this Arbok has Glare, which can paralyze us.
Yeah, with Earthquake, you just eviscerate it in one hit.
Yeah.
Also, a little quirk. We're not at full HP, even though we took the center. Just with the way stat EXP, I guess, recalculated.
Oh yeah, that is weird. Yeah, so we get the card key, which is why we have to fight that rocket trainer, and then it is time to fight the next rival fight. So our rival, he started to change his team up a bit earlier in Pokemon Tower, but now this time he actually starts to evolve his Eevee now. So this is where in later rival fights you start to change your strats a bit depending on which evolution your rival evolved his Eevee to. Also, another minor optimization, I took a step upwards here, so that way the rival fight can go straight to the teleport pad. It saves 5 seconds at the end of this fight.
Yeah, otherwise he's just got to walk all the way around you.
At a snail's pace.
Exactly.
I didn't realize it was 5 seconds. But
Yeah,
honestly,
me neither. That's insane.
that checks out. Also, nice crit.
Yeah, that's not good, but that's fine.
Yeah, Slash is a high critical hit move, and in Gen 1, if a move is high crit rate, it is high crit rate, aka if the Pokemon's base speed is 64 or over, it is 255 and 256 to crit. And Sandslash's base speed is 65, so it will almost always crit.
Exactly. And the 255 over 256 also comes into another mechanic that we didn't talk about yet, which is called the Gen 1 Miss. So moves that have 100% accuracy have a 1 out of 256 chance of missing, which, I mean, because of that, it very rarely happens, but if it does happen, you run into some very interesting situations. Pretty good for content if you're a viewer watching people do Pokemon speedruns, but it's not really something you play around with because you very rarely ever see it. But if you use an X accuracy, then you remove the chance of a Gen 1 miss happening.
Yeah, Gen 1 misses can be inconsequential. They can be run ending. You don't play around them for obvious reasons because it's only 1 in 256 chance. But haven't seen one yet. Hopefully we won't at this point.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
So this is kind of getting to the later game where you really don't want to be missing your attacks.
Yeah, if we don't have an X-Ack up, chances are it's because we can't get an X-Ack up. And a lot of the things in the late game can hit us really hard or just straight up one-shot us. So, you don't want to see us missing, as funny as it can be in theory.
Yeah, the late game in Yellow is insanely crazy because compared to Red and Blue, they raised the levels and completely changed the teams of a lot of the late game bosses, like gym leaders and the Elite Four.
Yeah, which means that in some of the late game fights, you are dead to a critical from full HP. So it can be pretty rough. But I don't know. In my opinion, I feel like I like it more. Unlike in Red, where you're constantly at specific HP in order to be at Red Bar a lot of the times. So there's always a constant debate in the community as to what's better to run, Red or Yellow. And in my opinion, I like Yellow more.
Same. I also just like having color in the game.
To each their own. Yellow's not bad.
Yeah. All right, so this is Giovanni. He said that he met us before. I don't know what he's talking about.
Must have been another guy.
Yeah, and you know, you're supposed to have done the Rocket Hideout at this point before unlocking Sylph Co, and you would have fought Giovanni at the end of it to get the Sylph Scope.
Yeah.
But we don't know. So just kind of playing around. And goodbye, Rhyhorn.
Yeah, after kind of this point is the point where the fights get pretty tough. Like, got a couple trainers ahead of us, but after that point, it's like you got a bunch of extremely variable fights all in kind of a row, as you kind of just rush the remaining gyms.
Yeah. So, going to dig out. Not even going to pick up the Master Ball because we're already done with catches anyway, so like, there's no reason. And we're going to head over to wake up the Snorlax.
But you could use the Master Ball on the Snorlax. It's a rare Pokemon. There's only 2 of them.
Also, trying to do some menuing. Gonna heal to reasonable HP for the next couple of gyms coming up. And then Snorlax is not going to be very happy that we woke it up, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, so after waking up the Snorlax, we're going to go through Cycling Road. Interesting thing about Cycling Road is you can actually... It goes down automatically, so this is kind of a good like resting point, because like obviously this game is relentless in terms of points where you can rest your hands, because you always have to be actively pressing buttons. So you can rest your hands here at this point. Aside from that, this is a good time for any announcements, if you have any.
Sure. So earlier I had mentioned that, of course we're raising money for Go Rescue Pet Adoption Center, but we have targets open. And now we do want to, hopefully we'll get to save the animals with Super Metroid, but we have a second target open that just says GMC Showcase for Astrobot. And if you're wondering what that is, that's the Great Master Challenge Showcase, which, if met, King Joe will do the final challenge level for Astrobot, which takes some casual players over an hour, while King Joe can regularly beat it on his first try. So I think that's a really cool incentive that we have. You can put your donations towards either Save the Animals or that showcase. I mean, I'm a little preference towards Save the Animals, but that showcase sounds pretty cool too.
And you can see the way M-Chan went to get to the safari house right here, going around the cut bushes, that's actually slower in red. One of the many just extremely minor differences between red and yellow. In red, it's faster to cut the trees, but because of the added menu lag, because of the colors in yellow, it's slightly faster to just go around. They did an interesting job putting color in this game, because this game was originally released in Japan for the OG Game Boy before the Game Boy Color came out, and they were like, when we release this in the West, why don't we make it a Game Boy Color launch title? So they just kind of put pretty rudimentary color in it. And it was great, but it causes a lot of lag.
So almost done with Safari. We picked up the gold teeth right there. We got a full restore back in our bag. It's gonna be in a really strange spot compared to what it's supposed to be in, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really need a full restore at this point in the run, because we're gonna be taking on Fuchsia Jim and Koga.
We're taking out Sapron next, but
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
I got red brain.
So coming up is Sabrina in Saffron City. So when you play this game for the first time, or like normally or casually, Sabrina uses Psychic Pokemon. We have a Nidoking and Psychic is strong against Poison. So I'm a little scared here because this is the 6th gym and we're doing this as our 4th gym. So I am very scared because I tried coming up with a lot of different ways to make this fight consistent, but Sabrina is just too hard.
Yeah, the Alakazam has I think it has Psychic, right? Strongest Psychic move in the game off of one of the strongest special attacks in the game, and same type attack bonus. Oh no.
You got this. Oh.
Level 50! Oh, man!
Oh, level 50!
It'll be fine.
Everything is fine.
Okay, flash.
That seems a little high.
Oh, boy.
Abra's flashing us.
Yeah, that's not good.
Our accuracy's dropped.
I know. Okay, but for real, we actually win.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
this is the 100% win rate fight in the game.
Yeah.
As long as you don't miss input.
No even risk of Gen 1 missing, because you use an X accuracy.
Exactly. And even in red, you just spam Earthquake, but you have a 1 in 256 chance of dying in that game.
Yeah, you can Gen 1 miss an Earthquake in red, but not here.
It feels good taking out a level 50 Alakazam.
At level 40.
The late game bosses, the Alakazam is not level 50 in red. They increased the levels big time for this part of the game in yellow. So, as we kind of mentioned earlier, our bag is full, so we're not actually going to be picking up those TMs. I don't even know what Sabrina's supposed to give us, but it's Psywave, one of the worst moves in the game. It deals random damage. Fun fact, if you Gen 1 miss on that Alakazam in red, you're in red bar, so you're extremely low HP, and you get Psywave, it might just not kill you.
That's crazy. All right.
It's based on like the user's level, but it deals random damage between like I think it's 0.5 times and 1.5 times that of your level, and it's not even 100% accurate.
Yeah.
Really bad move.
So we still have Thrash. For the most part, these fights are actually a little too hard for us to be one-shotting stuff with Thrash, but this one's pretty easy, so we're just gonna use our last Thrash of the run.
Yeah. If you Gen 1 miss this fight, then one of these Pokemon, I forget which, but one of these Pokemon has Disable, which I mean, I have a pretty good clip of in one of my attempts where I got Thrash disabled from Gen 1 missing, and had a very crazy outcome because the Kadabra used Confusion and also Gen 1 missed, but I still lost anyway.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
That's one of the most insane clips I've seen.
Okay, I need to see this.
Yeah.
What the heck?
You really do. It's awesome.
What in the...
Head on over to mchan338 on Twitch. Clip. Give him a follow while you're at it too.
Yeah, so this second fight here is a little bit scary. This trainer has a Hypno, which has Confusion Headbutt or Poison Gas. So hopefully we only see Poison Gas. That way we can have a pretty good amount of HP for Koga coming up. Oh, it also has Disable, which, you know, Disable's also fine.
Nice.
Horn Drill, okay, that's fine.
The zero turn disable.
Just losing as much time as possible.
Alright.
Alright, so here's Koga. He's actually kind of scary in this game.
Yeah, so we're gonna save for this fight. There's a very rare chance where I'm guaranteed to die, so I'm just gonna take the save.
Yeah, Koga has 3 Venonat and a Venomoth. M-Chan's objective in this fight is to set up an X accuracy and X speed, and then he's set.
Yeah, the X speed is so we can outspeed the Venomoth.
Yeah, but he can get put to sleep by the Venonats. They also have psychic moves that can
Okay, there we go.
lower
That's pretty
special.
good.
X attack's very good.
Yeah, that's so solid.
So that means we have no chance. This first Venonat has Sleep Powder, and Sleep Powder is very bad.
This is another fight where it's like, you're not too likely to die, but you can just waste a ton of time. That should be good.
Yeah, so
That doesn't even
Yeah,
kill with a
you're
crit. Very good Koga fight.
yeah, so the rare chance is that if the first Venonat uses Psychic and crits you and Special Falls at the same time, then you're dead at that point. Because at that point you'd be heal looped, and it's a whole big thing.
Yeah, you also need to... Enchen picked up the full restore in the Safari Zone because you really, really want a full restore for this fight in case you get Sleep Powder from Venonat.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the Poke Flute to wake up, but you really want to be
Yeah, but then
healed
that's more
as
turns
well.
for the
Mainly
Venonat
do
to
that.
use Psychic. So, yeah, this stuff. The fight can go. There's a lot of different outcomes in that fight, and there's not much you can do about some of the outcomes.
Also, the game told us that this badge that we just got raises our defense. Game lies.
Yeah, Surge said his badge raises speed too. His badge actually raises defense, and Koga's raises speed.
And it would have been nice if it was the other way around. But it doesn't really matter now, obviously. Also, say hi to Mom. Remember
Remember to call your mom.
call your mom, say hi, tell her you love her.
Yeah, with my HP, I would have considered skipping this heal, but because I only have 1 full restore, I can't really justify it.
So, teaching Ice Beam, very good move. And goodbye to Thrash. It did its job for us.
Yeah, Ice Beam is going to be kind of the main tool for taking out Dragon-type Pokemon, and also, like Bubble Beam that we had previously, it can be used to take out the ground types that stand in our way too. And next we're going to be going to Pokemon Mansion. where we have a risk of encounters. Believe it or not, even with a repel up, the levels of the Pokemon are so high in here compared to Red and Blue that you can still get certain encounters.
Yeah, it's a 5% chance of an encounter happening. So on average you expect at least one, but hopefully we see 0. Also, the encounters are very laggy, so normally an encounter loses between 11 and 12 seconds in the early game, but here the encounters, like, you lose, like, 15 or more.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, we're level 43, and there are Raticate encounters.
Thankfully, we can run from them, so we're not in deep trouble. We just kind of cry about it if it does happen.
Yeah.
Also, here's another Carbos. We're going to be raising our speed a little bit more.
Yeah, that Carbos and the other Carbos M-Champ picked up in Silphco are actually used to outspeed one of the very last Pokemon in the game, that being the champion's Alakazam.
And that Iron Ball right there is the Blizzard TM. So in the most optimum route of the game, we do use Blizzard, but and it does save time over Ice Beam, but it is a 90%. It has a 90% accuracy. So and in a lot of places where we use Blizzard, if you miss Blizzard, you're probably gonna die. And there's also a very risky range towards the very end of the game, where if you don't get the range, then you're dead. So world record attempts of this game are very brutal.
Yep.
Yeah, the late game.
Also, nice no
the
encounters.
late game. Yeah, that's very good. On average, it's like you get like 1, right?
Yeah, 1 is the average. Alright.
And the way it's set up, if you do actually get Eradicate and run from it, there's a good chance you're going to just get another one. So it's really good to not get one.
Yeah.
Just due to the way the game cycles through encounters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so the gym puzzle here is we're just answering a bunch of questions in order to avoid the gym trainer. So this is a good time to read out any donations or have any announcements until we get to Blaine.
All right. I'm just going to remind everyone, this is No Holidays Allowed 2024, raising money for the Go Rescue Pet Adoption Center. Now, the No Glitches Allowed team is sad to announce that this event, No Holidays Allowed 2024, will be the last No Holidays Allowed for the foreseeable future. But there are other events that will be run. You can stay tuned for news about these other events, No Glitches Allowed 11 and Complete-a-thon 2025, by following along on the Discord. And if you are looking to donate, make sure to type !donate in chat to get the link to the Tiltify page, where you can make a direct donation towards the Go Rescue Pet Adoption Center, and of course, towards those targets.
Alright, so now here we are in Blaine. Blaine, we're going to be using Earthquake, and we're going to be setting up an X attack on the Rapidash. So, our favorite Rapidash from earlier. Hopefully it plays nice. Yeah, so the Rapidash has Growl, which it would nullify the X attack that I'm going to set up on, which would make the Arcanine pretty scary, because the Arcanine coming up will have Fire Blast, and from full HP, we are dead to a Fire Blast crit. So we have about a 1% chance of dying at full HP.
Thankfully, we just got takedown, so it might sound weird to set up an X attack on something that can growl us, but it also helps us with our speed, because now we do have the speed badge. So we can badge boost a little bit on our speed, so works out, and got a good fight.
Yeah. Extremely good Blaine fight.
Yeah, the Rapidash also has Fire Spin, which is like another trap move. But fortunately, we didn't see that.
Thankfully, that's the last trapping move you see in the run. Don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah. So
at least I think it is.
Erica. Is it?
Yeah,
I think
ideally
so.
It is, yeah. So coming up is
unless
yeah, unless I Gen 1 miss in this gym, but Yeah, so
No.
coming up is Erica now. We're finally gonna take on Erica. This is supposed to be the 4th gym, but we're doing it as our 7th gym. And that's because earlier our moveset just wasn't good enough in order to take on this gym efficiently. But now, since we have really good moves at this point, this gym is really easy.
Yeah, so we have Ice Beam, so we're just gonna be kind of spamming that.
Ice Beam, you're higher leveled, and Blaine gives the special badge boost, boosting the damage Ice Beam does. So
Yeah.
this is just, you spam Ice Beam and that's it.
And just don't miss.
Yeah, what is the possibility of that happening? So
1 in 256.
one of Erica's Pokemon does have bind if I happen to get a Gen 1 miss. So, I mean, it's you're more than likely not going to see it. So.
Wiggly Woo.
Yeah, after this fight, all the rest of the gym leaders, well, actually, the only remaining gym leader and all the Elite Four members could potentially be eventful. Hopefully not.
Yeah. Hopefully.
This is kind of getting near the start of the late game gauntlet, which is just a bunch of very difficult fights in a row.
The game makes us recut the bushes after the fights, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is.
It's a very fast growing plant.
Yeah.
So now that we have all 8 badges, we're going to go ahead and take on the Viridian City Gym finally. Now, I don't know who the gym leader is, but we just have a bunch of gym trainers that we do have to take on. Well, we only have to take on 2, but normally there's a lot of gym trainer fights here.
There's a lot of spinning tiles that can kind of teleport you, that can spin you to and from different places, kind of in the directions of whatever the arrows are telling us to go. But they are incredibly slow, so we're just gonna not do that.
Yeah.
It's like twice as slow as normal walking. If you ever wanted to, see how life is as an NPC in Gen 1, you can get the NPC walking speed by going on a spinning tile.
So this fight here is normally pretty scary in red because normally in red you come in here with 16 HP and this Machoka's Karate Chop, and if you use a Karate Chop then you're dead. But here we're at much higher HP, so we have no chance of dying. Oh, that's a Gen 1 miss.
Very nice.
Yeah, so the opponents can also Gen 1 miss, and that's exactly what happened there. So that's the first one.
Yep.
Yeah.
First Gen 1.
Got to show that off without anything going wrong.
Somehow pull it off in the late game.
Yeah, so we are gonna walk out of the gym. It is faster to walk out of the gym and back in order to reset the positions of the trainers. That way we can actually get past that black belt trainer and get to the gym leader. Whoever the gym leader is, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I always close my eyes at this part.
A very strong trainer, very powerful, very hard fight.
Yeah.
And I'm not even saying.
Oh my gosh, who is that?
Yo, he looks familiar.
I feel like we've met him before.
Twice?
2 times.
Twice?
Huh?
I'm not sure.
But yeah, so this is Giovanni. So I actually saved, even though it seems like I'm pretty good with my with my typing, but this fight's pretty scary. So who wants to talk about it?
Oh yeah, this is a ground gym. I know it's pretty hard to tell from the first couple of fights, but it's a ground gym.
Oh boy!
And Doug Trio has really good speed, and it has really powerful moves like dig. Oh no.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. And so because I set up the X accuracy there while he was digging, that means the Persian's free.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in Gen 1, you can't use Earthquake to attack a digging Pokemon like you can in future gens.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dugtrio is extremely fast, has over a 20% crit rate. So it's extremely common for runs to die at this fight. Dugtrio also knows Fissure, which it can use, but it can't do anything since after the X speed, we're faster, so one-hit KO moves don't affect us.
Yeah, he can also use a guard spec, which would be the most ideal situation. Because then we take a 0 damage for like the rest of his Pokemon, which would make the fight very free, and it also makes the next fight coming up free as well.
We survived, so
yeah.
We went deathless.
Yeah,
There's
we're
a
deathless
bunch
so
of...
far. I was actually gonna say
Deathless with an asterisk, I guess.
I was gonna say that I'm gonna donate $4 per death, but we haven't had that so far currently.
You're gonna say that before Elite Four.
Maybe we gotta say maybe it's just gonna be the rock slide misses now. I still can't believe you.
That's insane. 6 misses.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Alright, but yeah, so I'm still gonna heal because I could still die this fight. This next fight, which is the Indigo Plateau Rival. This is where we do the second, where we do the optional fight, but here, because we're so far into the game, we do not fight the rival anymore for that part of the fight. So now this is the late game rival fight. So on Vaporeon, you actually spam Horn Drill on this fight, but here we have to do a little bit more than just spamming Horn Drill.
Yeah, the game kind of has 2 different routes for Flareon or Vaporeon. That's because with a Flareon, obviously, you can Earthquake it, and it just dies. Whereas Vaporeon, it's not weak to Earthquake, it's a lot bulkier, so you actually have to use an extra Horn Drill, which messes with your PP, so you gotta get extra X accuracies, which means you need more money, and you can use a PP up depending on the route you're using.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead our water type's just Cloyster, so we can just Thunderbolt it, because we put in the X-Spec.
Yeah, this fight's pretty free. On Blizzard route, this is actually a really scary fight, since you do have to set up on the Execute, which knows Stun Spore and can paralyze you.
Oh.
And in the next section, in Victory Road, there's possibility for encounters, and being paralyzed halves your speed, or quarters your speed, and you can fail to run away from those fights on the Blizzard route.
That's ridiculous to think about.
Yeah, it's really messed up.
Yeah, Victory Road's very similar to Pokemon Mansion here in this game, where everything's just so high leveled, so we still can get counters there. We don't want any, but...
By the way, notice how the rival said that we need more practice, which, given how this run's going, maybe I do need more practice.
Yeah, you need more practice hitting Rock Slide in particular. I mean, that's really kind of the only thing that's gone wrong. Besides that, this has been a pretty good run, I'd have to say.
Yeah. That and also a kind of weird 4-turn Thrash Girl.
Oh yeah, true, there was that.
You also sacked Pidgey on Rival, but honestly, I think that's fine.
Yeah, that's whatever.
But time to surf. The surfing music is a lot better than the Victory Road music, in my opinion.
Yeah, the Victory Road music, in yellow, no, in red and blue, the bike music overrides the Victory Road music.
Annoying.
But in yellow, they changed that. So you can still listen to the awesome tune that is Victory Road. Actually, Victory Road itself just reuses the Mount Moon music.
Oh yeah, you're right. Which is really sad, but whatever. Time to show off just how laggy pushing boulders is in Victory Road in this game. Oh boy.
It's mainly in the second room. The second room is the laggiest
Yeah.
one, for sure.
Second floor is really
There's
bad.
the mulch crates in the second floor. If you really want to go that route, and it's one of the things that causes a massive amount of lag in that floor.
Yeah, it takes more practice than it looks like to push these boulders optimally, because the lag, especially in yellow version with the color lag and the sprite being on screen, it can be just
Also, shouts to
a
extra
lot.
tricky with that trainer. Got one of his world records. Actually hit that trainer, but still got world record. Very impressive run though.
Yeah, what's cool about Victory Road in Gen 1 is that there are no required trainers throughout the whole thing. If you know how to move, you can just avoid all of them.
Yeah, and that's a thing with Gen 1 in general. There are like you can avoid any optional trainer because there are no trainers in this game that move around in random directions, unlike in the later games.
True. No spinners here. No
There's
walkers
technically-
even.
So basically, if you
There's
hit an
technically
optional,
one
it's
spinner
100%
in.
your fault in this game.
Yeah.
True, Randall's right. There is
Technically
a
one spinner in Mansion, but it has no vision, so you literally can't fight him unless you talk to him for some reason.
Yeah, so this is the floor here where we're gonna run into where we have the potential to run some encounters. So hopefully we don't see that. The other thing about getting an encounter is that it resets our menu cursor, which can sometimes throw some runners off if you're not ready for it.
That's really annoying, especially during this part of the run where you have a lot of nerves heading into the end of the game. You're not really thinking about where your menu cursor is.
Yeah, in my most recent PB, I kept getting off the bike several times from after getting encounters.
Yeah.
Next, we're pushing this extremely lengthy boulder. And you can just see how much lag is on this one. It moves so slowly.
Push. Push.
Nice.
Swag.
Fun fact, in version 1.0 of the Japanese version of this game, Pikachu functions as a boulder. And if you have Pikachu in your party, and you let it stand on one of the boulder, like the pressure plates, it weighs it down, and the game thinks it's a boulder.
Wow.
Wait. What?
Yeah, that I've tested. I have a Japanese 1.0 card.
Oh,
That's some
gosh.
new tech.
Swag bowl on another level. Also, we're going to dump in our entire party. We don't need to fly inside the Elite Four.
Yeah, every extra party member in the Hall of Fame adds it's 8 seconds or something.
Yeah, between 7 and 8.
Because it shows every Pokemon, but this Pokemon's a Hall of Famer. Yeah, no, the level 5 Pidgey didn't do anything. Sorry. But yeah, just it's faster to take the extra time to deposit them in a PC to save time in the Hall of Fame.
So normally I don't do that in
Gonna
PB
buy
attempts,
some
but I am going to do
points.
this because the Elite Four is much harder in this game than it is in Red. Oops.
Ooh.
And I'm also going to save here because I am dead to a critical in one shot from a full HP.
Yeah, especially because you used the full restore earlier. Definitely a good idea to buy some extra.
Yeah, my healing items were not
Things
very
go
good coming into this. So, yeah. Alright, so yeah, so Lorelei, in Red, you actually keep Pidgey because you manipulate Lorelai's AI so that Dewgong always uses Rest on the second turn. But here, Lorelei actually has... Okay, nice, that's very good. Lorelei actually has 80% to use Rest on the second turn.
Very good. The fight's just free from here after you set up the X accuracy.
Yeah, the Dewgong could
Yeah.
use Bubble Beam, which could lower your speed, which is bad because then you have to use an extra X speed. So that's one of the reasons why I bought the extra X speed. And then also the Dewgong has Aurora Beam, which lowers our attack. That's not a big deal, but either Bubble Beam or Aurora Beam can actually kill us from full HP from a critical.
Yep. We do outspeed everything, so we're just going to be drilling away. And then it's on to the next fight.
Well,
and
just
it's
a
really good when
reminder.
at full HP.
Yeah, if you wanted to hear my Pikachu cry specifically, you only have a few minutes left to meet that, the Save the Animals for Super Metroid. We're only $8.21 away. I believe in you. Just 1 or 2 donations and we can do it. And you can hear Pikachu.
You're coming into Bruno. Bruno's not a very scary fight. There's not too much that can go wrong. You can get status in this fight. You can potentially get burned by Fire Punch or frozen by Ice Punch, but you got full restores to deal with that. And it's not very likely at all.
Yeah, normally you don't buy
Just
two.
gotta-
You don't buy full restores. So ideally, you're coming in here with 2 full restores, and you really don't. You really want to save the 2 full restores for the last 2 fights in the game.
If you use a full restore here, only having 2, that's super, super bad.
Yeah. Okay. So we didn't get a burn, so that's good.
A burn wouldn't functionally do anything in this fight either, because the attack stat is a non-factor, and in Gen 1 and Gen 2, if you KO the opponent, you don't take damage from status afterward. So you just heal it off in the next menu. The remaining fights in the game, however, can go very eventful. They're all pretty variable fights.
Yeah. So coming up is Agatha. She leads with Gengar, and Gengar has Lick, Confuse Ray, Substitute, and I believe Nightshade, or is that red?
It's Mega Drain.
Mega Drain. Okay. So the annoying thing about a Gengar is Substitute. You don't want to see Substitute. You also don't want to see Confuse Ray, because I mean we've seen how bad Confusion is in this run so far. And then also Lick, which can paralyze us. It has the potential to paralyze us. We're gonna set up an X speed here. And then even after getting past Gengar, there's the Golbat, which isn't too bad. But Golbat has Wing Attack, Toxic. It also has Confuse Ray as well, so even if you get past Gengar, you can still get trolled by the Golbat.
An Ice Beam crit right here always feels nice.
Yeah, it always feels nice. It also feels nice freezing the Golbat as well, which
True.
in one of my PBs I got.
In Gen 1, Freeze, there's no way to cure it unless you use the move Haze or just heal it with an item.
Yeah, or if you
Still
get hit by a fire
confused,
move.
unfortunately.
Which most Pokemon don't usually come with an ice move and a fire move at the same time.
Except Hitmonchan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Hitmonchan's an interesting case.
Really hoping to snap out of confusion here, because this is really scary.
Oh
Please.
boy.
Oh no. You don't want to hurt yourself in this guy.
Oh
No.
man. Okay.
Oh.
You know,
Full restore.
actually, that's fine. That's
boy.
the extra X speed that I bought.
Oh boy. Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
Oh.
Maybe it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to reset that.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Ooh, is your last save? Your last save's at Lorelei?
It is,
Lorelei,
yeah.
I believe.
Oh boy. Okay.
All right, we're gonna be seeing
fine.
Dugong again.
Dang. All cause I hit myself in confusion, then I didn't remember where my item was, and so I used the wrong item that I didn't want to use.
Yeah. Oh, we got rest again somehow. All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
So at this point, since it's gonna take us about a few minutes to get back to where we left off, you can go ahead and give out any announcements.
All right. Well, luckily, I do have announcements. We got a donation for $10 here from someone named let me see. It's Randall Eats Cheese.
Yo.
I know that
who's
guy.
that?
And the comment was, thanks for having me on earlier. Had a blast and having a blast right now. Now I want to hear Pika! And smiley face. So that did in fact go towards the Save the Animals Super Metroid. We will be saving the animals later. Thank you so much for that donation. And of course, Pikachu!
Nice.
All right. Yeah, no, that was really good. I thought I was half hoping you would do the Pokemon Yellow version. I'm not gonna
That
lie,
one,
but
my
much better.
voice
Peek your mic.
does not do.
Yeah, just cut off like your entire thing and just scream Pika.
Even though that was a huge time loss, I do have a very large estimate because this game is it can get pretty rough towards the end of the game.
Yeah, still well underestimate.
Yeah. For context, my PB is about 156.17, but the estimate is 215.
Yeah, Chain, if in like a marathon setting, Chain dying to like the later fights in the game is not uncommon.
Yeah, and we're not out of the woods yet. These are the easier fights in the Elite Four.
Yeah, the two fights after Agatha are scary, for lack of a better word.
But Bruno is done. We're just kind of spamming X-Act moves that aren't going to be missing, so... Shouts to Machamp's Sprite.
But James Yellow sprite's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like it's gonna stomp on you.
It's like, what is it doing? It's on a rampage, I guess.
I love the Gen 1 sprites personally. They get a lot of flack, but I'm a huge fan.
I like them too. You just don't get the same type of flavor out of like Golbat in future generations
Mm-hmm.
in this game.
It's got so much
you don't
character.
See,
that.
I grew up more with Gen 4 when I was a kid, so I don't know.
Gen 4 sprites are good too.
Yeah, no, Gen 4 is pretty solid.
Alright.
With very few exceptions. I'm looking at you, Diamond and Pearl Gliscor.
Oh
Okay,
gosh,
so
what
this,
does that
so
look like?
This is so far looking to be a little bit better.
Just crit the Golbat.
Just don't get confused.
Don't get confused. Okay, there it is.
Very nice.
Alright,
Cool.
alright, no chance of dying this
Awesome.
time.
Through barring
You're
a
good.
Gen 1 miss.
Yeah, and my HP is actually really good to where I don't need to heal for Lance.
Oh yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah, barely took any damage so far in the first couple of fights. Now, being at basically full HP does matter for Lance, because we're going to be taking more damage. Well, most likely, we'll be taking more damage.
He leads with a Gyarados, and the thing about Gyarados is Thunderbolt doesn't kill it in one turn, and it can kill us in one turn because it will always use Hydro. So what Enchan's going to do is he is going to set up an X special, which because the special stat equates to both special attack and special defense in Gen 1, it's going to decrease the damage from Hydro Pump so that Nidoking can actually live it, and increase the damage from Thunderbolt so it kills it on the second turn. The problem is, if Gyarados crits, you're just dead, and you can't do much about that, so he's going to make a little save.
Yeah, and
Here.
even if you survive the Gyarados, you can still die to the Dragonairs. So depending on how much HP I have after using Hydro Pump, I will set up a second X special on either the first or second Dragonair. The first Dragonair has Hyper Beam and Slam to worry about, whereas the second Dragonair has Ice Beam and Bubble Beam to worry about.
Hydro Pump missing is really, really good here.
Yes, hopefully.
So that'd be really good.
Okay, so let's hope I survive.
Hold on tight.
Okay, all right. Here's
Okay.
what I'm gonna do. Because I have a lot of full restores, I'm just gonna use an extra full restore, and then
Ooh.
wait. Actually, wait. Maybe that was wrong.
Missed?
Yeah, maybe that was wrong.
Maybe do that on the Dragonair.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
okay.
Yeah, that's just a.
Punish. Okay. I wasn't.
That's
I wasn't
fine.
thinking about. I was thinking a little bit too far ahead there.
It was good to keep that in mind, but yeah. Oh well.
You just wanted to show off what happens if this fight goes badly.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of time within
full
the
HP.
estimates, so you know.
Dead from full HP. If you weren't believing us earlier, there you have it.
Yeah, this does happen every once in a while where sometimes you might think a little bit too far ahead, and then you just make mistakes because of that.
All right.
So Hydro
Here we
Pump
go
does have a
again.
20% chance to miss, which would be ideal. Okay, so this is what's actually supposed to happen.
Okay. So we're gonna see some red bar, not like an insane amount.
But I am gonna full restore
do see a
here.
little bit.
So this is what I was actually supposed to do here. So this eliminates every risk that I have on this Dragonair.
Ooh, nice miss. See that? Ow, got crit.
Dang, slam crit does that much.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
That's why
Surprising,
it's not it. That's why you can still die even after surviving Gyarados.
Yep.
But yeah, so now
If you have more HP, you can set up here and deal with Ice Beam and Bubble Beam.
yeah. So the second
And
Dragonair
maybe-
did use if I did have to set up on the second Dragonair and I use Bubble Beam, then I'd lower and I get Speedball, then it's really bad for the rest of this fight.
And next, you got to think about the final fight in the game, Champ, which is another get crit and you're dead kind of situation.
Yeah.
Full HP, dead to crit. Where have I heard that story before? Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, and
Lance,
and just for reference, the
Lucky.
I am gonna use a Full Restore because the highest amount of damage Sand Slash with Earthquake can do is 162 damage.
Yeah, so you need to be at full HP. He's got to set up an X special on this Sand Slash and E an Earthquake.
And it does boost our defense, which does help a little bit. Because of badge boosting. Not by a lot. So we're still kind of sweating a little bit.
Yeah, quite literally sweating right now.
Also, we're gonna see some real fun animations. The game turns animations back on for the champ fight.
All right, here we go. Come on, live!
Don't crit.
Here goes nothing.
All right, there it is.
Oh gosh.
Not through yet.
Yeah, not through
Alright,
yet.
There is,
I can still die
there's
from
a-
here.
yeah. There's a Magnets on this fight that is a 36 and 39 range with Earthquake.
Wait, is it not guaranteed on Flareon?
Nope.
Seriously?
It's very
Oh my gosh.
you very
Depends on the
rarely
route
miss
you're
it
doing.
though.
If you use the rare candy instead of the 2 Carbos, I think it's guaranteed. This
Oh,
Executor
nice.
also control with Hypnosis, but
Okay.
it missed. It's 50-50 to Hypnosis or Leech Seed.
And neither of them actually do anything because of the way Leech Seed works in this game.
And I guess if
It's
it Leech Seeds and you miss the Magneton range, you can die to Leech Seed.
Yeah, probably. Okay, we got the range. All right, so at this point
Technically,
There we
we
go.
basically win.
yeah, don't misclick and we're good.
Yep. All right, so with that,
GG.
thank you all so much for
GGs.
watching. It was a really good run all the way up until the very end. Unfortunate, it happens. It is Pokemon speedruns in a nutshell, basically. You can get so far in, have the run of your life, and only to go have it crashing down towards the end. And unfortunately, with the late game fights, that is basically an example of what could happen when grinding out attempts. It's pretty rough, but overall, when you complete a run, it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean the time is within a minute from now, but I do want to thank Primal Pizza and Randall for hanging out with me on commentary.
GG's. Played very well.
Be here. we made some real fun memories.
Yeah.
For sure. 6 freaking rock slides.
Rock slide.
And also, thank you, Trainer
Right.
Nade, for being host. You did really awesome.
Thank you. This has been a super fun run to watch.
All right, time's coming up.
And where can people find you? Yep.
Yeah. I'll say my bit at once time is up, which is in about a few seconds from now.
Time's gonna be when the screen transitions to white.
Yep. 207.52.
GG.
Yeah, overall I played pretty well. Those 2 deaths and the Pokemon Tower was a little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. Just wanted to have fun with the run. But yeah, so you can follow me on twitch.tv/mchanted38. I am not mainly a Pokemon speedrunner. I happened to get into this on the side, but had a lot of fun with it. For the 3 years of running this game on and off after being directly inspired by Pokeguy, who's the world record of this game. But I mainly run Zelda and Mario, which for those who kept up with No Glitches Allowed events might know that I regularly run Zelda and Mario. This is definitely out of my comfort zone of games that I normally run, but it's a lot of fun. We have a really cool community too that are always willing to help people out. So if you're interested in learning this game or any of the Pokemon games, we do have many different Pokemon servers where you can join to learn the games that you want, and we have a lot of resources for them.
And one in particular is very beginner friendly. Great games to get started with
Yeah, exactly.
if you're interested in speedrunning Pokemon.
Yeah, that's yeah, again, mchanted38 on Twitch, or it's mchanted38 on YouTube, where that's my main source of content, where I do Let's Plays. So if you want to see some variety content out of me, then my YouTube is definitely one to check out. But aside from that, that's pretty much it. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been always a pleasure to be a part of this event. Go Rescue Pets is a great cause, and this year it's pretty meaningful as to me because earlier in June of this year, I recently lost my best friend. His name is Jay. So this run is in dedication to Jay. So I hope Jay, wherever you are out there, hope you are living your best life out there. So yeah, with that, thank you all so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of the marathon.